The EcoPro 360 is a non-hazardous chemical. It's reusable as long as you filter it out. One thing that I didn't mention earlier is guys that are using it to clean various components, like if they're dunking them in, I got guys that'll turn an aerosol cap upside down and put some EcoPro in there and put some pins and whatnot in there, or they have a tray. Obviously, you can't filter that stuff out, so you can either put it back into the drum and filter it using the cart, or I've even used a coffee filter in the past. Now, granted, that's going to take a while. It probably takes about 40 minutes for all that chemical to get through a coffee filter just because it's such a fine micron filter. But that is a way that you can use it on your parts and components and still filter it and reuse it. But getting back to the chemical, is reusable as long as you filter it. Safe to work with. We use it to remove rust, calcium, lime scale on various pieces of equipment, whether it be an injection mold, cooling passages that we have hooked up right now. Earlier, we demonstrated plumbing in to a heat exchanger, which if you are not in maintenance, just go talk to your maintenance guys. They'll tell you how big of a pain in the butt it is to pull off a heat exchanger, and then they have to rod out the copper tubes that are on the inside. Copper is a very soft alloy, so sometimes you puncture that and you have to drop a sleeve in, and it's very tedious. A lot of guys roll their eyes, or they simply just chuck the thing out and buy a new one. Now, this is a smaller tube style heat exchanger. We do have some very large heat exchangers that can cost thousands of dollars. So in those respects, we want people to, continue keeping them at their optimum condition. So that's why that's important. And all I did was plumb in quick fittings. That way, those guys don't have to pull the heat exchanger off. You can just plug directly in. But that's a nice way. And I was alluding earlier that whatever that you have in your shop that's flushing, have universal fittings. It's so important. There's been plenty of times when I go and do a demo, and then I hook up to one thing and it's got a fitting, and then I got to go to my toolbox and it's got a different fitting. So just one little tips and tricks that you can put in your shop. The other thing that we did, I showed you guys the XL cart. Big size difference. Main differences being 1-inch lines versus half-inch lines. The standard cart does 13.5 gallons per minute. This XL cart does 28 gallons per minute. You can see, if I get out of the way, you can see the different size in the filters. But they both operate the same way, which is off of your shop air. I know I talked a lot about the safety of the air diaphragm pump. And when you set the pressure block, it'll cease operation. Air diaphragm pump over here too, just a little bit bigger. It's like going from a V6 to a V8. Just a little bit more oomph. Everything still operates the same. We demonstrated a pressure block on a feed throat section from an extrusion line.
Audio.
Oh, because the air compressor's back on?
Yeah.
Sorry. What I was saying was we demonstrated a pressure block situation in the feed section, in the feed throat of an extrusion line, which in extrusion, that's what we designed the XL cart for, was for larger chill rolls, so we can just get through all that volume. Like I said, that does 28 gallons per minute versus 13.5. So that's what we demonstrated today. But also a good point to bring up our YouTube channel again. If you haven't, please do like and subscribe. Plenty of content on there, whether I'm cleaning out, flushing out a heat exchanger, or a mold, surface treatment. We were talking about PVC and how well it cleans that up. We've got some dyes used from a PVC processor and extrusion application that clean up in 35 seconds, if that. But there's some pretty cool video and content out there. So